we've actually got a magician. Lincolnshire magician Scott Perry's here. Morning, Scott. Are you all right?
Yes, I am very well. Very good morning to you. And of course, all of the BBC Radio Lincolnshire listeners.
Yeah. Did you watch the footy last night? Are you a footy fan?
I caught the last most exciting 10 minutes of the game.
You just came in at the right time. You were thinking, I'll put it on for extra time and penalties. And then we didn't need it.
I think when you don't see the results of a game that's quite significant, whether it's football or any other sports, I think the apprehensiveness and the anxiety kicks in, and you think, I'm just gonna double check, see what the score is.
And it's one of those where there's no point watching the highlights because you can't avoid the result, can you? It's as big as that. Now, you're not here to talk about football, which is very exciting. We spoke to you at Christmas. You came in on our Christmas show.
I did. It was
Christmas
fabulous.
Eve. We had a lot of fun, didn't we? We had a mermaid in as well. It was all a bit bonkers. We had Mitch the singer and magician Scott. You are about to go on tour again, and you're going to be in Lincoln.
Well, I am. So it's just a small tour initially.
Yeah.
So the tour is just Lincoln. I am talking and having meetings with some people about making it a greater tour, perhaps East Midlands, perhaps national. We'll see about that. But for now, we're staying in the historic area of Lincoln.
And as we said before, you got this label of the bad boy of magic because you upset the magic circle. And I don't know, if you do that, then your name's probably mud there. I don't know how it works.
I don't know how it works either. All I know is that I've had my wrist slapped.
Yes.
I'm not allowed in certain places, and I've made some good friends from it in terms of.
So you quite like being a rebellious magician.
I think every industry needs someone to stand up for what they feel is right, and I don't know if I like the title, but I think that everyone should have the right to express themselves. Yes.
Yeah. No. So I mean, you basically revealed too much. That's what they didn't like, didn't they? You broke the magic circle rules, didn't you?
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So I'm quite liberal. I'm quite inclusive with magic. Of course, I love the appeal of secrets, and I think that a certain amount can be shared. But they did not agree.
They didn't agree. You had your differences, shall we say?
Yes.
The artistic differences, you might call them. Now, in terms of getting ready for a show, what do you, because you do a bit of comedy as well, because that is all part of it, because you're putting on a sort of entertainment as well. Do you like practice in front of the mirror? How does it work? Do you try it with some friends first?
Oh my gosh. So I don't have a theatre background or an acting background. So for me, it's so awkward and it's so cringe because I'm at home just, in a closed room and there might be someone in the house with me, and for them to overhear me rehearsing lines and
So you're whispering it, are you?
I mean, I try to be careful and try to not to disrupt any neighbours and that kind of thing. But yeah, it is a very interesting thing to see someone rehearsing a show.
Yeah. And your tricks, you've got to try them out on someone, though, haven't you? Presumably, because you can't just do them for the first time.
Yeah, so that's a really difficult thing as well, because I have close friends and close family who I like to test things here and there.
Yeah,
but some of them are also coming to to So I don't want to spoil the show.
Yeah, it's hard work, isn't it? You don't know what to do. And in terms of the show, what can we expect? Because it's also there's a charity element to it as well, isn't there?
Absolutely. So the whole reason for me starting this show was because I was speaking to Nikki at Cash for Kids, who runs the Lincoln, I believe it's Lincolnshire, East Yorkshire and Yorkshire coast.
So quite a big area, yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's our patch of Cash for Kids, because I didn't realise until hearing her speak some months ago that don't quote me on this, but I think it's 30% of all children in Lincolnshire live in some kind of poverty.
Yeah, I think we have got it's particularly in some of the coastal areas, that's true. So you were sort of inspired to raise the money and do this. So the one in August, which sounds ages away, but it's like a month away, 9th and 10th of August, that's when you're doing the Blue Room there. But what other stuff are you up to at the minute as well? Because you're still you come into contact with celebs and all sorts, don't you?
Yes, from time to time, and there's so much travel involved as well. So this morning, I've driven down from Hull. I was there yesterday for a couple of nights, and then after going back to my home in Lincolnshire today, early tomorrow morning, I'm getting up early and going to London. And so trying to orchestrate a show and create everything around all of the travel, around all of the other events, around all of the other little bits and pieces. And I think that's what any creative thrives on.
Yeah.
Having that fuel to inspire and to create and to share.
And what is when you get talking to people and they say, well, what do you do for a living? You say, I'm a magician, which is a great reply, isn't it? It's a great reply. What reaction do you get? And what is the question that people always want to know?
A very common reaction is, oh, what instrument do you play?
Really?
Because magician is so uncommon that people assume I'm saying musician. But it's very interesting. Of course, lots of people say, oh, show me a trick.
Show me a trick, yeah.
And quite often I'm happy to.
You get like that on demand.
Yeah, and I understand as well. I think that when you meet a magician, most people don't meet a magician, a professional magician.
No.
And most people might have an uncle or someone who does a magic trick at the family gathering. But I understand the excitement of people. And there have been moments in my life, and there's one particular moment that always brings me to tears telling this story, and that's in this show. And it's such a lovely story, and it's still like I'm starting to tear up thinking about it now.
You're not going to tell us now, are you?
No.
You're going to save it. I thought we were going to get a spoiler from it.
No, but that was just a random moment on a train somewhere with a very lovely person, and it's such a heartwarming story. And I didn't have to perform any magic for her, but I ended up showing her some magic, and it's just to change her day. Or her week or her month is such a lovely thing to be able to do.
Well, there's something special about magic, isn't there? Well, that's why it's magic. That's the whole point of it. Well, look, good luck, Scott. Scott Perry is going to be at the Blue Room. It's the 9th and 10th of August.
Yes. Can I say a couple of thank yous before I go? So there are 3 big sponsors of the show, and the show wouldn't have happened without them. So they're all local businesses. Yeah. Carrie from APT Legal over Newark Way, Dan from Cobalt Human Solutions in Lincolnshire, and also Tom at Lincolnshire Marketing. Without those, I wouldn't have been able to raise this money and put on this show.
Fantastic stuff. Search Scott Perry on socials and you'll find out more details about the magic coming soon to Lincolnshire. Good to see you, Scott.